the way that I heard about Asbury was through a friend. She texted in our group chat and she was like, if there's any way that we can go to this, we need to go. I've seen different types of revivals. I've seen different types of large groups coming together and worshiping God. So this wasn't really new to me necessarily, but it was the fact that students started it. It was the fact that these Asbury students came in and they were like, we're staying here and we're gonna worship God. And that's what called me to it. I was like, okay, they can do it, I can do it. I'm going to make and find any way possible to get me there. Got the van, got the students, got the advisors to go, and we made it happen. And so everything just kind of felt like different, if that makes sense. I felt like everything was just standing still. So, I mean, anybody that goes on a long trip can say that it's just, there's a lot going on in your mind, especially from being exhausted the entire time, especially when it has to do with God. Everybody had their own things to say about Asbury. Everybody had their own things to say about their relationship with God. And so we had a lot of questions, but it was very silent. That van ride was full of prayer. That van ride was full of worship and lots of rest. The moment I walked into the chapel at Asbury was, to be honest, slightly disappointing at the beginning. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I had way too many expectations. But when I walked in, I kind of thought there was going to be thousands of people there, and I thought people weren't going to be exhausted because of the presence of God. And I shouldn't have had those expectations. Once I realized God is here in that moment, oh my gosh, everything else went down the drain. The way that God moved in my life during Asbury was unexpected. I was the type of person that would always say God can do these amazing, incredible things in 24 hours for all of these other people, and He doesn't do that for me, and that's okay. But He quickly changed my mind in that moment. For some reason, our group ended up being in the front of that chapel every single time we walked into the chapel every day. How did that happen? Out of thousands of people waiting in a line, I have no idea. What are the odds that we also got a guitar, left the chapel, worshipped outside, and was able to still get in the front and give them the guitar back? Keep in mind, we didn't have a guitar with us. It was insane, and I didn't know God could do that through me. You know, I had a lot of self-doubt, but there was times where like somebody I didn't know came up to me and said, "Hey, can I pray for you?" And there was one specific time where I remember, like, the first time I gave my life to Christ, I felt this genuine hug from somebody that wasn't even there. And a lot of people may think that's crazy, and I may sound crazy, but it's very much real. And I remember that person, after praying for me, said, I feel like God just wants to give you this huge hug right now. And that just brought me back to my salvation, and it was beautiful. After the trip to Asbury, it was pretty amazing. We came back. We got here at 2 a.m. again. There was a moment where all of us were like, let's just do a prayer walk. We prayed. We went around our campus. It took about maybe 20 minutes. And then we did that every single day for 7 days. And on the 7th day, we went around the campus 7 times. We just wanted the chains in our campus and the walls that are around us to break. Not literally, but metaphorically, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things, bondages that were holding our school back at the time, and I feel like if you look at it, our school now, there's so many changes, and it was insane. I think how I've changed after Asbury is I want more. I think a fire was lit up under me. I want to see God in completely new ways, and I've been putting myself into situations where I am almost required to see Him in that way because I want it. God has done some amazing things, and I'm more in love with Him than I ever